Hi love, welcome back. In today's class you're making this beautiful water wave skirt. If you're new to the channel, my name is Miss Ayi and you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you my love, thank you darling, thank you sweetheart for always coming back. You can make this a mini skirt, a maxi skirt, or a midi skirt. The process is the same. Let's get right into class. I'm going to be using these 3 shades of Yaya Lightweight and I'll be doubling my yarn. Also, you will need your scissors, your tape measure, your darning needle, and a 4.00 hook. And to begin with, you are going to make a slip knot and you are going to make a long chain, or you're going to make a chain multiples of 19. So if you're a size small, consider making smaller, and if you're a size medium, in this tutorial I used 157, but you can make a long chain and work in until you get to your desired length and you will stop. But in all ways, make sure your chains are in a multiples of 19. So I'm going to make about 171, and this is my chain. So you are going to chain 2 and you are going to skip 2 and make a double crochet in the 3rd stitch. You are going to go inside each chain with a double crochet. So this is row 1. You are going to make double crochet in each stitch until the desired length of your hip, and you would end there. However, make sure your double crochets are in a multiples of 19. So this is what I have, and I'm going to leave. I ended on 157. And I'm not going to work in my last 19 chains. So we are going to slip stitch your work on top of your first double crochet to form a circle, and now you are going to chain 4. You are going to turn your work. So this is our main work. So turn your work and make a treble crochet in the next stitch. And you are going to go ahead and make 4 more treble crochets in the same stitch, making it 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and your last one inside the same space, that's 5. This project is going to be a combination of treble crochet and single crochet. So now you're going to make treble crochet in the next stitch. 1, and you're going to skip 1 and make your treble crochet in the next stitch. And you're going to repeat this until you have 9 treble crochet. So this is 2. This is 3, skip 1, make your treble crochet. This is 4, skip 1, make your treble crochet. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, and your last one 9. And you should be having something like this. So this counts 9, and now you are going to make your 5 cluster of treble crochet in the next stitch. So this is 1. In the same stitch you are going to make 2, 3, 4, and 5, all in the same stitch. 1, 4 and 5. Inside the next stitch, you are going to make 5 clusters of treble crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Inside the next stitch, you are going to start your individual trebles. So the next stitch after your cluster would be 1. So you don't leave space. The 1 is always at the next stitch, and now from the other one you are going to skip 1 and make your 2, skip 1 and make your 3, skip 1 and make your 4, and you are going to do this until you have your 9 individual treble. And your 9. After your 9 individual treble, this is 9. You are going to make your 5 clusters in the next stitch. So you are going to put all 5 of your trebles inside your next stitch. You are going to make another 5 treble inside the next stitch. And after your 5, you are going to start making your individual trebles, and the beginning is the first one. After your cluster is your number 1. From the number 2, you are going to be skipping 1 and making your cluster, skip 1, make your cluster until you have 9 individual cluster. And the next stitch after your 9th individual cluster, the very next stitch, you put your 5 cluster all in the same stitch. The following one, you put another 5 cluster all in the same stitch, and you would start with your individual cluster, individual treble again until the end of the row. The end of the row should be a stitch. You should be left with only 1 stitch for your cluster. So keep repeating this, and I'll meet you at the end of the row and we shall continue. Also, make sure your work is not turned, it should be straight. So at the end of the row, this is my 8th, and I'm going to make my 9th individual treble, and on the 10th you are going to put it in the last stitch, that very tiny space. You are going to put 4 clusters in the same stitch, because your chain 4 at the beginning counts as a treble. So put 3 and 4, and you are going to slip stitch on top of the chain 4 space, adding to your 4 clusters. So you should have 5 cluster. You are going to slip stitch, and this is row 1. Row 1 and row 2 is going to be a repetition row until you have your desired length. Is that easy? So we are going to be repeating 2 rows. So row 2, you are going to chain 1, turn your work. You should be having something like this. And row 2, we are going to be making front post single crochet. Before we do row 2, this is the excess yarn, so I'm just going to connect it, and you are going to start with front post single crochet. So you are going to work front post single crochet in each stitch until the end of the row, or until the beginning, and I'll meet you there. So go ahead and work front post single crochet inside each treble. At the end of the row, you're going to, this is the last one, that's the chain 4, is also a stitch. So work your last front post treble and you are going to slip stitch it inside the chain 1 space, and this is row 2. Row 3, you are going to chain 4 again, and this 4 is part of your trebles, and you are going to make a treble, 5 trebles inside the next stitch. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all inside the same stitch. And to start your treble, individual treble, you make your first one in the next stitch after the cluster. Now you are going to skip 1, make your second one in the next, skip 1, make your third one, skip 1, until you have 9 individual trebles. So this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now we are going to make our cluster. So the cluster, you are going to make it in the next stitch. You are not going to skip 1, so make 5 cluster right after your 9th treble. You make your 5 cluster and again make another 5 cluster inside the next stitch after your first 5 cluster, and you start your individual again. And this is 5. Should be having something like this. Now to start the individual again, your first one is the one right after the cluster is your number 1, and you start until the end of the row. So keep repeating this all around and I'll meet you at the end of the row. If you've made it up to this point and you haven't subscribed to the channel, my love, my darling, please do. I'd love to know your feedback on this video, on how it's going so far. Do you understand? Is there something you're missing? Please leave it under the comment section. Let's get interactive in each step as we go. I would really love to know if you are following this and if so far the video has been helpful. At the end of the row, you are going to make your last 4 cluster. Remember, the chain 4 is a cluster, so inside that space, that chain 4 space, you're going to make your last 4 cluster. So this is 2, 3, and 4. And you are going to attach it on top of, connect it on top of your chain 4, making it 5. And this is row 3, and row 4 you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and row 4 is the same as row 2, and with this row you're going to go inside each with a front post single crochet. So you starting with the chain 4, you are starting on the chain 4 and you go inside each treble with a front post single crochet all around until the end of the row. And at the end of the row, you are going to connect it inside the chain 1 space to attach your work. So go all over with your front post single crochet, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. At the end of the row, you're going to connect it. So you make your last front post and you're going to connect it inside a single crochet space and slip stitch. You're going to chain 4 again, turn your work, and inside the first stitch, you're going to make your 5 cluster treble. So this is 3, 4 and 5. Inside the next one, you start making your individual trebles, and the individual trebles, it should be 9. So this is 1, and from the 2 you are going to skip 1 and make your 2, skip 1, make your 3, skip 1, make your 4 until you have your 9. And now you're going to follow with your cluster, your 2 clusters in 2 stitches, and you're going to go all around until the end of the row, and you're going to slip stitch. So at the end of the row, you're going to, your last stitch, you're going to make 4 trebles inside the same stitch, 3 and 4. And you're going to slip stitch it on top of your chain 4, making it 5. And now you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to make your single crochet front post single crochet in each stitch until the end of the row. This is pretty much the pattern for this work. I bet you if you don't get anything, you can pause the video, go back and watch, and trust me, you would get this. So you're going to be repeating these 2 rows until you have your desired length, but I'm going to show you how I connect my other yarn. So I'm at the end of the row, so you're going to connect it inside the chain 1 space, and I'm going to cut my pink yarn and connect my mint, and you're going to chain 4. This is pretty much the same exact thing, so I'm just showing you how to connect your other yarn. So chain 4, turn your work, and you are going to start off making your 5 treble inside the next stitch, and I'm going to be yarning or working on my tail end, so I wouldn't have to have a lot of excess yarn to cut when I'm done. So make sure you work on your tail yarn, and that is it. So this is the pattern for the work. I'm going to be changing colors after every 6th row. I'll change to the next color, change color in every 6th row. You can choose to do it different. You can choose to change your color after every 4 rows or after every 5. Just feel free and do what suits you better in changing the color, or you can also use one color. Trust me, it will be very beautiful. I would love to see how you would recreate this, and you are going to work until you have your desired length. So this is what you would have to be doing. Just work this until you have your desired length. If you want a mini skirt, make it short. If you want a midi skirt like the video, you'd make it you just work a few more rows, and if you want a maxi skirt, just work it until you have your desired length, and that is it for the skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and work until I have my desired length, and I'll meet you when I have my desired length, and we shall work on the waist. I'll show you how to work on the waist. And yeah, so I'm going to be changing color after each 3 inches. I'll be changing rows in 3 inches, 3 inches. That is 6 rows. So yeah, that is 6 rows. So go ahead and work this until you have your desired length. So this is it, and this is how my work is looking. So changing rows, just here to show you after I joined the third yarn, this is what I am having. So keep working this. I'm going to repeat the pink, the mint, and the golden yellow, and I'm going to go in that until I have my desired length. This is my desired length, guys, and this is what the work is looking like. I'm still contemplating whether to do more or less, but for now I'm going to chain 1. If you end, just chain 1, cut and fasten your yarn. And with the waist, we are going to cut the excess yarn. When you cut it, it will automatically, your work will unravel, so you have to just pull it to form a knot, and that is just it. And you are going to go for the waist, you are going to go ahead and make single crochet all around your waist, and you are good to go. That is if you want this to be a skirt, but I'm still contemplating if I should turn this into a very sexy dress. I'm not still sure, but if you want it to be a skirt, just go ahead and make single crochet all around the waist and attach your long strand for your waist adjustments. I have videos, a lot of videos on how to attach your waist strand, so you can just open one of the videos and see, but just make sure your work is in the middle when you are attaching your strand. Make sure you get the middle and you attach your adjustment chain. Until we meet next week, is bye bye.